The year is 1929. America swings to jazz, oblivious to the shadows lurking around the corner. In a quaint, sleepy town nestled amidst rolling hills, lived the Hope family. John Hope, the patriarch, was a respected businessman known for his honesty and warmth. His wife, Eleanor, was the picture of grace, her gentle nature making her the heart of their community. They had 2 children, Robert, a bright, mischievous boy of 10, and Lenora, their eldest, a beautiful and enigmatic young woman on the verge of adulthood. The Hopes were the embodiment of the American dream. Their laughter echoed through their spacious Victorian home, a testament to their hard work and happiness. John's business flourished, providing them with a comfortable life. Robert, full of life, chased butterflies in their sprawling garden, while Lenora, with her quick wit and even quicker smile, charmed everyone she met. They were the envy of many, a perfect family living a charmed life. Little did they know, darkness was soon to cast a long, chilling shadow over their idyllic world. Life, however, is a fickle beast. It can change in the blink of an eye, twisting the familiar into a grotesque mockery of its former self. For the Hopes, that twist came silently, cloaked in the dead of night. Their story, once a harmonious melody, was about to become a discordant symphony of violence and despair. The monster, as it turned out, was not some unknown entity lurking in the shadows. It was woven into the very fabric of their existence. The night of July 17th dawned like any other, a gentle breeze whispering through the trees, the moon casting an ethereal glow on the quiet town. But inside the Hope residence, a storm was brewing, one that would leave an indelible mark on the fabric of their lives. The screams, muffled by thick walls, were swallowed by the night, unheard by a world oblivious to the horrors unfolding. John Hope, a man accustomed to the sweet slumber of a life well lived, was ripped from his sleep by an unholy sound. It was a guttural, desperate cry, followed by the chilling thud of something heavy hitting the floor. His heart pounded against his ribs, a drumbeat of fear in the sudden silence. He scrambled out of bed, rushing towards the source of the noise, his beloved Eleanor's scream. He threw open the bedroom door to a scene that sent a jolt of ice through his veins. Eleanor lay sprawled on the floor, her nightgown stained crimson, her eyes wide with terror. A gasp caught in his throat, choked by the metallic scent of blood that hung heavy in the air. He rushed to her side, his own scream joining the symphony of chaos that had become his life. The investigation was swift and merciless. The small-town police force, ill-equipped to handle a crime of this magnitude, called in reinforcements from the city. The house, once filled with warmth and laughter, was now a crime scene, swarming with grim-faced officers meticulously combing through the remnants of the Hope family's shattered existence. Suspicion, like a venomous snake, slithered its way through the hearts of the townspeople. Fingers pointed, accusations flew, and the idyllic facade of the once peaceful community crumbled. The whispers started subtly but soon grew into a chorus of condemnation. The target of their fear and suspicion, Lenora, the surviving daughter, the sole witness to the carnage. Lenora, once the epitome of youthful exuberance, was now a ghost haunting the halls of her former life. Her eyes, once sparkling with mischief and joy, were now clouded with an almost unnatural calm, a stoicism that unnerved those who dared to look too closely. Her demeanor, a stark contrast to the raw grief displayed by her father, fueled the flames of suspicion. The trial of Lenora Hope was a media spectacle, the small courtroom overflowing with curious onlookers and seasoned reporters eager to chronicle every twist and turn of the sensational case. The prosecution, fueled by public sentiment and a thirst for justice, painted Lenora as a cunning, manipulative young woman driven to the brink of madness by a desire for freedom and inheritance. They presented a narrative of a strained relationship between Lenora and her parents, highlighting her rebellious streak and her longing to escape the confines of their small-town life. Witnesses, some eager to bask in the fleeting glow of notoriety, others fueled by genuine belief, came forward with stories of Lenora's supposed disdain for her family, her cold demeanor, and her unsettling lack of outward grief. The defense, on the other hand, struggled to paint a picture of innocence against the backdrop of circumstantial evidence and the overwhelming tide of public opinion. They presented Lenora as a victim herself, traumatized by the horrific events she had witnessed, her stoicism merely a coping mechanism for a grief too profound to express. The prosecution, relentless in their pursuit of a conviction, meticulously chipped away at Lenora's facade of innocence. They presented a series of damning discoveries: a blood-stained glove found discarded near the crime scene, a glove that mysteriously vanished from Lenora's possessions. They produced letters, penned in a hand eerily similar to Lenora's, expressing a chilling resentment towards her family, hinting at a desire for a life free from their perceived constraints. The murder weapon, a bloody candlestick, a familiar fixture on the Hope family's mantelpiece, was discovered hidden in the depths of Lenora's belongings, wrapped in a handkerchief embroidered with her initials. Each piece of evidence, like a nail hammered into the coffin of her innocence, strengthened the prosecution's case, painting a picture of premeditation and cold-blooded malice. The courtroom, once abuzz with murmurs and speculation, fell silent as each piece of evidence was presented. The jury, their faces etched with a mixture of horror and morbid fascination, listened intently, their eyes darting between the prosecution's damning exhibits and the defendant, whose composure remained unnervingly unbroken. Section 6. Public outcry, a town divided. The trial of Lenora Hope became a crucible, testing the very soul of the once peaceful town. The community, once a bastion of unity and shared values, found itself fractured, divided by suspicion and fueled by rumor. Friendships dissolved, neighbors turned on each other, and the very air crackled with tension and distrust. On one side stood those who believed in Lenora's innocence, clinging to the memory of the bright, vivacious girl they thought they knew. They argued that the prosecution's case was circumstantial, their evidence flimsy, their motives suspect. They pointed to the lack of a clear motive, the absence of a confession, and the possibility of an intruder, an unknown assailant who vanished into the night. On the other side stood those who believed that justice demanded a conviction, who saw in Lenora's stoicism and her seemingly cold demeanor proof of her guilt. They embraced the prosecution's narrative, finding solace in the belief that the guilty party had been identified, apprehended, and would soon be punished for their heinous crime. Section 7. Justice or Vengeance, the verdict. The jury deliberated for days, their faces etched with the weight of their responsibility, their minds grappling with the complexities of a case that offered no easy answers. The evidence, while damning, was largely circumstantial. The prosecution had woven a compelling narrative, but doubts lingered, whispers of alternative scenarios, unanswered questions that echoed in the silence of the jury room. Finally, the fateful day arrived. The courtroom, packed to capacity, buzzed with nervous anticipation. The jury filed in, their faces betraying nothing of their decision. The foreman, his voice heavy with the gravity of the moment, announced the verdict: guilty. A collective gasp swept through the courtroom, followed by an eerie silence. Lenora, her composure finally cracking, swayed slightly upon hearing the verdict. Her eyes, once holding a flicker of defiance, now glistened with unshed tears. A faint whisper escaped her lips, a denial lost in the cacophony of the courtroom erupting in a mixture of cheers and gasps. Section 8. Lingering Doubts, the Unsolved Mystery. Lenora Hope was sentenced to life imprisonment, her fate sealed by a single word: guilty. But the story didn't end there. The verdict, while providing a sense of closure for some, did little to quell the unease that had settled over the town. Doubts lingered, whispers of inconsistencies in the prosecution's case, questions about the validity of the evidence. Some argued that Lenora was a victim of circumstance, a convenient scapegoat sacrificed on the altar of public opinion. They pointed to the lack of a clear motive, the fact that the murder weapon, while found in her possession, yielded no usable fingerprints. They questioned the reliability of the witnesses, some of whom seemed motivated more by a desire for notoriety than a thirst for justice. The passage of time, while dimming memories and softening the edges of grief, did little to erase the mystery surrounding the Hope family murders. The case, once a national sensation, faded from the headlines, but for those who lived through those dark days, the questions remained. Section 9. Scars of Tragedy, a Legacy of Loss. The Hope family murders left an indelible mark on the town, a scar on its collective psyche. The idyllic facade of innocence and tranquility had been shattered, replaced by a lingering sense of unease, a realization that darkness could lurk even in the brightest of places. John Hope, broken by grief and the loss of his family, abandoned the town that held too many painful memories. He sold the once grand Victorian home, a silent testament to a happiness brutally extinguished, and disappeared into anonymity, his hopes and dreams buried alongside his wife and son. The Hope family murders served as a chilling reminder that even in the heart of American idealism, darkness could lurk, shattering lives and leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions and enduring pain. The case, a stark testament to the fragility of life and the enduring power of suspicion, continues to fascinate and haunt. A cautionary tale whispered on the wind, a reminder that some wounds never truly heal.